So in breaking news, the Baltimore Ravens have traded cornerback Jaire Alexander, who they acquired in the offseason. Jaire Alexander, who they signed to a playtime incentive-based contract. Jaire Alexander, who they have not been playing at all. Jaire Alexander, who in the beginning of the season, he played a little bit against Buffalo, didn't look good. So then his playing time got, I can't even say reduced, it just literally got cut, Jaire Alexander. And then they started to have him on the inactive list, Jaire Alexander. They traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles and a 2027 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick from Philly. So the Baltimore Ravens, they got rid of Jaire Alexander. Now, what's crazy? Crazy timing, too, because we literally just put out a video earlier today, and somebody asked me, hey, Craven, what do you think is going on with Jaire Alexander? And I was saying that it's weird. And then in that same video, you can go watch it. It's the very last question in the video. But I said it's so weird, and I wouldn't be surprised if. But then I stopped myself because I was like, you know what? I know how sometimes fans can get, and if you say certain things that you're thinking, they feel like it's going to be your fault if it ends up happening. And what I was going to say is that I would not be surprised. I don't know if this happened or not, but I was going to say I would not be surprised if Jaire Alexander requested out. Why? Because he came to the Baltimore Ravens not to sit on a bench, not to be inactive every single game. He came to the Baltimore Ravens for an opportunity to play, for an opportunity to flourish, for an opportunity to continue an excellent career there. And I know he's missed a good amount of time with injury. I get that. Trust me, I do. That's why the contract that they gave him, it was pretty much based on incentives. It was based on playing time. How much percent of the games that he played. The more he played, obviously, the more he could earn. But he wasn't playing. And that's got to be frustrating. If you come to a team, you feel like you're healthy, you ain't on injury reserve. You're on the active roster, but every single game. For the past couple of games, Jaire Alexander shows up. We see him on camera. We see him walking in the locker room and all that. Looking happy. He ain't look upset or nothing. But, Jaire Alexander, one of the 7 inactives on game day. So this trade, initially when it came across my screen, and shout out to my guy Lionel, because he the one to send it to me. I was over there eating. Then I was having Jollibee. I was having some Korean barbecue fried chicken and white rice. And I had a cherry Coke, 0 sugar kind. It was good. It was so good. And then I got a message on my screen. I said, what's? And he said, we traded Jaire Alexander today. He goes, I said, what? What? Because my phone was on silent. But anyway, y'all don't care about none of that. But I love y'all. That's why I'm telling y'all that, because y'all family. But anyway, so I was like, whoa, but then I thought about it. That's not really surprising that they traded him. When we got Jaire Alexander this offseason, I was excited. When we got Jaire Alexander this offseason, I was hyped. We got Jaire Alexander this offseason. I was like, oh, my goodness, I love that move for the Baltimore Ravens. Why? Because you can never have enough in a secondary. You really can. And I'm like, hey, this is such a stay ready so you ain't got to get ready type of move. Oh, my goodness. This is such a nice upgrade to the secondary for the Baltimore Ravens, because I was thinking of it 2 ways. I was like, one, say, for instance, we signed Jaire Alexander, and for some strange reason, if he's not ready to play right away, and he just needs a little bit of time, we got Marlon Humphrey, we got Chidobe Awuzie, we got Nate Wiggins, we got TJ Tampa. We gonna be straight. And then we had drafted Bilal Coney, but I was like, okay, we're gonna be. But then I was thinking about the other scenario. What if he is ready? We got Marlon Humphrey, we got Nate Wiggins, we got Chidobe Awuzie, we got TJ. So we still got all those guys, and then on top of that, we would have Jaire Alexander. I said, boy, I said, Ravens ain't playing fair. But I love it. Well, I loved it because it's past tense now because he ain't a Baltimore Raven no more. At least he still get to be a bird. Now, I had liked Jaire. I loved the move. And one thing I loved about Jaire Alexander, too, was his energy, his vibe. And Eagles fans, we didn't get to experience much with Jaire Alexander, like I said, because he played in the Buffalo game. And I think maybe he might have played a couple of snaps in maybe one other game, I believe. But other than that, nothing else. He was, like I said earlier, he was just inactive. But what Jaire Alexander brought to the Baltimore Ravens, literally from the jump, was energy, was leadership, and he really infected this team in a good way, in a positive way. Because, like, you saw Ravens cornerbacks in training camp, in open practices, even in games, when they would make a play, you saw them do the Jaire Alexander, the sword celebration. So it was like, oh, okay, because they were not doing that before. They weren't doing that before. And we know that's associated and affiliated with none other than Jaire Alexander. So when I saw it, I said, oh, man, that boy Jaire. So it was just a beautiful thing, and it was just a great acquisition, and I loved it so much because I felt like it just made the Baltimore Ravens that much stronger, but they ain't use him. And like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, what I was going to say in the video that we dropped earlier today, again, I was not going to be surprised if he asked to be out. I don't know if he did or not. I ain't heard nothing. I don't know anything about it. But I would not be surprised if he asked out. Because it's like, all right, the football, NFL is a business. And these guys are in it to make money. They're in it to get paid. They're in it to get their bread. So if I have a contract, first off, I'm a football player, so I want to play. I want to be out there. I'm an all-pro. I'm one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Like, let me go out. Yeah, I had a rough start early on in the season. Let me bounce back. How can I possibly bounce back if every time you see me, I'm over there on the sideline in street clothes? How can I possibly bounce back? I can't. It's impossible. But on top of that, I'm a competitor, so I want to play. But on top of that, I want to get paid the max money I possibly can. I can't do that on the sideline because my contract is incentive-based. It's based on playtime. If I'm inactive every single game, or if I'm not, even if I'm active and not playing, that's not doing anything for me. I'm not getting paid like that. Then my contract, I'll just get paid the base amount. And I'm trying to get more than that. So there are levels to Jaire Alexander, and what I'm sure was frustration on his end, from his side, which I completely get. I completely understand. I don't think a single Baltimore Ravens fan, I don't think any will, but I don't think any should have any ill will towards Jaire Alexander whatsoever. Because he doesn't need to. He doesn't. Nobody needs to. Because he ain't doing anything wrong, in my opinion. He didn't. He didn't do anything wrong. He came here, came with a good vibe, good energy, all that. He picked the Baltimore Ravens. Him and Lamar Jackson, obviously, with that Louisville connection. And he picked the Ravens. There were some other teams offering, no, I'm straight. I'm going there. So, and it obviously it didn't work out. And sometimes, some things just don't work out. I was hoping that it would. I really thought that it was going to. I thought it was just such a win-win situation for both sides. Because, like, all right, for Ravens, you get a really good corner. Yeah, he has had some injury history, even recently. Yeah, he has missed some time, even recently. But the kind of contract they signed him to, I'm like, it's safe. It's a safe contract. Worst case scenario, if he does get hurt, okay, you tried it, you move on. Didn't work out. But best case scenario, you tried it, and it works out for both sides. Because what I was hoping that Jaire Alexander will put that pressure on the Baltimore Ravens, meaning that he came in this year and balled out. He signed on to a one-year deal, and he put pressure on them to give him a contract extension. Or he put pressure on them that they would fear losing him in free agency. But either way, that would work out for Jaire Alexander because he would get paid from either from the Baltimore Ravens or from somebody else. So that was the win-win side. It will be a win for Jaire and a win for the Ravens. Because if he gets paid from them or gets paid from somebody else, that means he did pretty good with y'all. But here's this. So now he's going to Philly. Last year, Super Bowl champions. And Philly, they obviously been looking pretty good this year too. But they've been looking around. The one thing about them Philadelphia Eagles, man, always respect them for it. And I saw something else that said that they were still looking at Jermaine Johnson and I think Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins too. One thing about them Eagles, they never stop. They never stop trying. They never stop trying to add pieces. They never stop trying to get stronger. Doesn't matter how good they look. Doesn't matter how great their record is. They are always still looking for more. Always still trying to build an even better team. I love how they do things over there. I love how that GM operates. I love the whole operation from top to bottom because they do not stop. They don't sleep. They don't quit. They always on the go looking for more. I love it. Love it. I love how with their quarterback, Jalen Hurts does not have to be Superman every single week in order for his team to succeed. He ain't got to go crazy every single week for his team to do good. They got it, man. They really do. The way that they've been doing things, amazing. And don't think this is a shot at the Ravens at all, because it's not. It's just so praise for Jeff Lurie and Harry Roseman, Nick Sirianni, all of them. Because they do a phenomenal job over there. Again, it's not a shot at the Baltimore Ravens. This is just me giving credit where credit is due to the Philadelphia Eagles for how they operate their show over there. I hope that Jaire Alexander does get to play. I hope Jaire Alexander does get to go off over there. And I hope Jaire Alexander does earn himself a nice contract, whether this or next season. Because that would mean that Jaire Alexander, he went and balled out. I hope that he does hit all them incentives that he got in his deal. And I just really seriously hope that he does his thing over there with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I hope he does it to an extent, because I still want my Ravens to hold it down and Ravens to go on that nice hot streak and just go crazy with it and come back and run this streak all the way to the Super Bowl. But as far as Jaire Alexander as an individual player, go out there and do your thing.